Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. This is going to be another very special video for my channel because this is my first ever collection update in the 2.5 years since I had done my first collection update. And my first collection update was actually pretty close to when I had first started my YouTube channel, and my collection was definitely a lot smaller back then. So after 2.5 years, I've definitely gotten a lot more models, and this will probably be my last collection update for the next couple years as well, just like the time span from the previous one, just because this is very time consuming, and it does take pretty much all day to set all of this up, especially as my collection is growing. So with that being said, here is my full entire collection of the Daron Realtoy models, with a total of 188 models included right here in the setup, including the ones all the way in the back as well that are new condition. So I do have 3 new models on the way, new releases. They are some of the new releases that Daron had came out with. I do have 3 new ones coming on the way, but unfortunately they have not arrived yet in time for this video, the time that I needed to make this video. And I also do have several other planes waiting to be shipped out, so those are kind of deep in storage right now, all wrapped up and stuff ready to be shipped out. So total I do have 200 models, but right here is I have 188. But if you want to include the 3 that are on the way and the ones in storage, it should be about 200. So the way that this collection update is going to work, obviously I can't do a 1-by-1 run-by of every single model when the setup is like this, because it is too much, and in order for you guys to be able to see the model pretty clearly, I don't want to have to try to reach and zoom in all the way across this. So how this is going to work, I will still do a 1-by-1 quick run-through of every single model, but it will be separated into, all of these models will be separated into 2 sections. The first section will be strictly just North and South American airlines. Pretty much just any model that is an airline that is based in either North or South America. An example of that would include the American Airlines models, Delta, United, Southwest, JetBlue, etc. So, and then the second portion of these models will be pretty much any other airline located anywhere else around the world. So like Emirates, KLM, Qantas, any other airline, as well as the cargo airlines and the couple welly models that I included in this video as well. And pretty much any other fictional models as well. So just to be able to do a good run through of all of these. And what I also will do, I will kind of do a review on each row. I will have every model set up in one couple rows, depending on how many models there are. So that way I can do a simple just run through of every model without having to try to reach across the entire setup of planes. So I will only have the full setup like this for the beginning part of this video and the end. So with that being said, let's get into the review of the models. So starting off with the first row of the North American and South American Realtoy models, there is the non-Realtoy American 747, which, even though this is not a Realtoy model, it goes well with the rest of these, and plus it was one of the first toys that were made for American Airlines. Then there is the Realtoy American 757-200 in the chrome retro livery, then the American 777-300 in that same livery, then the updated livery, the newer livery of the American A350, then the 3 of the American 777-300s in the new livery. The first 2 are kind of in the older first version of the new livery with the slightly lighter gray color of the American Airlines logo, and then the newer one kind of has a darker American Airlines logo. And then there is the US Airways 757-200 in the black or dark blue livery, Then the 2 of the US Airways 757-200s in the gray livery, and then there is the US Airways A320 as well as in the gray livery, then the America West 757-200, and then the Alaska Airlines 737-400 and with the white wings, and then 3 of the Alaska 737-400s all with the silver wings. And then there are 3 more of the Alaska 737s, 737-800s, all in the new livery as well. So then moving on to the second row, which is pretty much all just the Delta models, and then Northwest down at the end, which is one of the airlines that merged with Delta. So first one in the row is the first Delta Airlines model that Realtoy made, which is the Delta 767 in the what is referred to as the Landor livery in one of the Delta retro liveries. And then there are 3 of the Delta Colors of Motion livery. Then the 767. The first one is the oldest one, and then this one is still in the exact same livery design, except it is slightly newer. And then this one is the only Colors in Motion livery, Delta 767, that is actually different. The only difference is that the older one has the outlined windows, and then this one has the filled-in gray windows. So then there is the Song 757, as well as another one, that new condition one that is down there. And then there is the Delta 757 in the Colors in Motion livery, 757-200, 777-200 in the same Colors in Motion livery. Then there are 5 of the Delta 767s in the current livery. The first one is the oldest one, which was the first one in my collection. It is missing the tail sticker, but this one was made in 2010. This one I think was made in 2012, and this one in 2015, and then this one in 2019. And then there is another one that is down at the back as well, which is the 5th one, which that one I have not opened, so it's new condition. I think it was probably made around the same time as well, so in 2019, so pretty much should be the same model. And then there is the Delta 757-200, and then the 777-200, both in the new livery as well, and then the Delta A350-900. Unfortunately, I don't have the silver wing version of this one. I only currently have the white wings version, but there are the silver wing version and then the white wing one. The white wing one is the newest one. And I think this model was replaced to be painted as well. Same with the 757 and 777, which are in the large playset. So then there is the oldest in the 1990s bowling shoe livery of the Northwest 747. And then there are two of the NWA Northwest 747s, which this one is the slightly older version, and then this one is the slighter newer version of it, which the livery design is pretty much exactly the same apart from a few minor differences, but overall they still are both the NWA 747s. So then moving on to the third row, which is pretty much just United. So the first one is the one of the oldest Realtoys, which is the Battleship Gray United 747 from 1993. Then there is the Tulip livery of the United 777-300, and then 2 of the Tulip livery United 747s. I think this one is slightly older, and this one is slightly newer. And then there are, I have 3 of the TED A320s. So this one is the first one that I had gotten. This one is the one with the ink rubbing off of it on the stickers. And then there is this one, which is in better condition. And then I also have a new condition one down in the back as well as another United Tulip 747 new condition. So, and then moving on for the TEDs, there are the United 777-300s in the Continental livery. There are 3 of them. All of them pretty much are the same exact livery, except different manufacturing dates. One of them is from, these 2 are from 2014, and this one is from 2019. The only difference there is actually, for the United 777s, there are the older ones, which these 2 were made in 2014, and both of them have a slightly different, I think the logo, the United logo is slightly bigger than on this one. You can't really, it's hard to tell, but if you look closely, it is a little different. So, and then I do have another new condition one over there as well. So, and then there is the there is the Continental livery of the United 747, and there is the United 787, in the newer 2019 livery, and the Eco livery. This one is the stickers version, which the stickers version is actually somewhat rare, considering that it was only made for a few months until it was replaced by the painted one. So I do have two of the United stickers versions, and then there is the updated one, which is pretty much half painted. The tail is still a sticker, but I just found out yesterday that the United 787, that this model is now fully updated to where the entire plane is now painted, so the tail is painted as well. And then there is the Continental 757, and then there are two of the Aeromexico 787s. And then moving on to the fourth row, which has really nice color diversity with the Southwest models. So starting off with the fourth row is, I believe this is one of the original Air Force 1 and 2 models, possibly from the late 90s to early 2000s. So the Air Force 1 and 2 747 model, and then the 757 model. And then another one of the Air Force 1 and 2 models. These ones are slightly newer. These are on the older livery design, which pretty much is just like the newer one, except it's a darker blue. And a separate of the Air Force 1 747. This one did not come with a 757. I remember getting this one. This one was just a single plane model. So, and then for the two sets of the newer Air Force 1 and 2 models, there are the sticker version of the Air Force 1 747 and Air Force 2 757. And then there are the newest updated painted versions of the Air Force 1 747 and the Air Force 2 757. So, and then there is the oldest version of the Southwest Canyon Blue 737-400, which you can kind of tell the difference there with the lighter yellow on the tail and the lighter windows. And then there is the newer version of the Southwest Canyon Blue. I have three of these models. Pretty much all of them are exactly the same. And then there are the two versions of the newest new livery of the Southwest 737-800s, with the first one being the yellow tail design, and then the second one being the orange tail design, and I have two sets of those as well. And then moving on to the fifth row, there is the older version of the Spirit A320. I have two of those models. And then the newer version of the Spirit A320. There is a newest updated version of this, which is fully painted, and this one is a stickers one yet. Unfortunately, I do not have the painted one yet, but I will try to get it in the future, as well as all the other newer updated painted models that Daron is coming out with. So then there is the Canadian 747, and then the Air Canada 747 in the retro livery, as well as the Air Canada A340, also in the 90s retro Air Canada livery. Then there is the mint green Air Canada A340. I have three of these A340 models. Then there is the mint green Air Canada 777-300. I have two of those models. And then the newer livery of the Air Canada 777. And once again, this is another model that is now updated to be fully painted, and I do not have it yet. This one is the stickers version. Then I have the WestJet, only one WestJet 737. This is the more common 737-800 one with the leaf on it. There is another one that has kind of just the basic kind of square WestJet logo on it, which that one was the single plane one, and this one was the one that came in the playset. And then there also are the WestJet 737 I think they're supposed to be based off of the -600, but they are in the -400 mold. Pretty much the ones without winglets, but I do not have those yet, unfortunately. But anyway, moving on, there is the WestJet, two of the WestJet 787s in the newer livery. This is a relatively new model as well. Came out a couple years ago. And then there are two of the NASA 740 Realtoy 747s with the space shuttle carrier on it. These two are definitely really cool Realtoy models. They are still being produced, and I do feel like this is definitely a common model that is not very well known of. You can buy this model as a single plane, which is what I did. This one was an extra one that I got with a patent that came with a bunch of other models. I highly suggest getting the Space Shuttle model if you do not have it yet, because it definitely is a really nice model. And also comes with a little space shuttle to carry on it. So then moving on to the fifth, and I guess part of the sixth rows of my models. There is, starting off in the fifth row, there is the Allegiant A320 in the slighter older livery, and then another one of the Allegiant A320s as well in the same livery, and then the updated version of the Allegiant A320, and then there are the Frontier, technically these are the A319 models, the A319 liveries. The liveries are the A319s, and then the model itself is the A320 mold. I guess you could just refer to them as the Frontier A320s and the older livery. So there's the older livery with the Crockett, the raccoon tail design. Definitely probably my favorite Frontier model. And then there is the other one, which is the Hector, the sea otter tail design. This one was the Crockett, the raccoon was the one that came in the playset, and then Hector, the sea otter, was the one that was the single plane version. And then there are, I have two of the newer updated Frontier A321 models in the A321 livery design and the A320 mold. There are the Spot, the Jaguar, two of those models, as well as another one that I had got in new condition a while ago as well in the back with my other new condition models. So, and then moving on from the Frontier, there are the JetBlue and the older Bubbles livery. This one does have the ink rubbing off it as well, just like the TED one that I had mentioned previously. And then there are in the, I keep forgetting what the design is for this JetBlue A320 model. It kind of has this boxes on it as well. But yeah, so then there are the newer version of the Frontier A320s in the Blueberries livery. I have three of those. Although none of these are the updated pan one, I still need to get that one as well. But then there are the two Hawaiian models. There is the Hawaiian A330 in the new livery, and then the Hawaiian A330 in the old livery as well. Then the Sun Country, the newer Sun Country 737-800 model. This one was one of the newer release models. Unfortunately, I still don't have the older Sun Country model. That has been one I have been trying to get for pretty much since I started collecting. I've been trying to get that model, but unfortunately I have not been able to. I really do want to get one of the new condition Sun Country playsets. That's one of the ones that I really want. But so this is the newer one, the newer livery, and the Tide Pod livery. Then there is another newer release with the Pan Am 747, and then there is the Copa 737-700. So then moving on to, I guess, part of the sixth row, there is the first version of the AirTran 737, the one without winglets, and then the AirTran 737-700 in the same livery, except this one does have the really nicely designed winglets on it. So then there is the Caribbean 737-800, and then the ATA 757-200, and then two of my favorite models in my collection, the Hooters Air 737 in the -400 mold, and then the TAM A330, and then the LATAM 787. So I wanted to put the TAM and Hooters together because TAM, I'm still not sure if you pronounce it as TAM or TAM. But yeah, so Hooters and the TAM A330 are two of my favorite models and two of the favorite models in my collection. So, that pretty much is all for the North American and South American models. So, oddly enough, this is pretty much just over half, I think, of my collection. I still have the other models I got to do. I have to set those up as well. But yeah, so it's pretty much all of strictly just the North American and part of the South American models. Really only the South American part of the models are really just these couple up here. The rest of these are all the North American ones. But so there aren't really that as many North American models. Quite a few of these are kind of just duplicates, but they still are definitely definitely does make the collection look a lot bigger. So, but then now I will stop the video real quick and I will start setting up for the kind of the European, or pretty much just all of the other model review. So now moving on to the second portion of my Realtoy collection, which is going to be pretty much any other airline that is based in any other continent other than North and South America, as well as the house liveries for Airbus and Boeing, any fictional airlines, the several wellies that I have, and the 3 different cargo airlines of models that I have. So starting off with the first row, there is the Iberia A350-900, then the Aer Lingus A330, and then the British Airways 787 with the white wings. The silver wings one I do not have, but that one is the UK version, and that one is the fully painted one, but this one is the stickers version. And the British Airways 747 with stickers, and the UK Premier Planes British Airways 747 that is fully painted. And then both of these are both of the American version of the British Airways A380, both with stickers. And then there is the Air New Zealand 787, relatively new release, and the Qantas 787 with the silver wings. The Australian version of this is the one with white wings, which that one is definitely more rare than this one. The white wings version comes in the smaller playset, and this one is in the slightly, the normal size playset. Then there is the Qantas A330, both 2 of the Qantas A330s that came in the small playset, which I don't know if this has been discontinued now, but I don't think you can get it off of Amazon anymore, and I think you can only get it from Australia now, which is kind of odd. But so anyway, then there is one of the older livery designs of the Qantas A380s, and then there are the newer versions of the Qantas A380 in the newer livery. So then moving on to the second row, there is the Alitalia A330, which is now a discontinued model, and then there is the ELAL Israel Airlines 787, and the Thai A350, 2 of the Lot 787s, and then there is the Swiss A340, and then there is the Fly Russia 747, which this is a fictional model, and then there is the Kingfisher A320, which is a relatively new model to my collection, and then there is the DHL 757, and the FedEx 777, the Christmas ornament. And I also do have a another FedEx Christmas ornament, new condition, over there as well. And I also forgot to mention in the first row there, I do have a new condition British Airways 747 and the British Airways the Daron and Welly Concorde model, and I do have a new condition Alitalia as well. So, and then after the FedEx Christmas ornament, I have the normal FedEx 777, which the FedEx 777 is unfortunately another discontinued model as well. And then I have the oldest version of the UPS 747, which this is the one that is completely with stickers and has the cargo door on near the rear of the plane as well. So, and then there is the second oldest UPS 747, which it's kind of half painted and has the tail sticker as well, which says the worldwide services synchronizing the world of commerce. I have 2 of those, and then there is one of the newer versions of the UPS 747s, which is one of the ones that just says the worldwide services and is kind of half painted, half with stickers, with the fuselage painted and has a sticker on the tail. And then there is the newest version of the UPS 747 that is fully painted, and the tail no longer has a sticker on it. Moving on to the third row, which is mostly just all of my house livery models. Starting off is the oldest version of the Airbus A380 in the house livery. I have 2 of those models. And then there is the newer version of the A380 in the house livery. The only difference is pretty much just the logos. You can see the logo difference with the older one and the newer one. And then there is the oldest version of the Boeing 747-400 that these ones came in the large playset together, and I believe these are some of the first 747 models as well that were made in the 90s, or some of the oldest ones at least. So definitely some of my favorites in my collection too. So then moving on is the Boeing 777 in the house livery, as well as the 747-400 that came with it. And then there is the newer version of the 787 and just the basic house livery, as well as the other 747 that came with that as well. I do have another one of the 787s. I believe this one was just as the single plane. And then there is the newest livery of the 787-8 and the Dreamliner livery. I have two of those as well. Then there is the Lufthansa A350-900, and then the newest, one of the new releases of the Lufthansa 787 as well. So then moving on to the fourth row. So starting off is the older version of the Emirates A380. I have two of those models, and then the newest version of the Emirates A380. Pretty much the only difference is a slight change in the logo design, kind of like the United 777. And then there is the KLM 787, which this is the American version, which has stickers instead of being fully painted. Although this version is actually now being fully painted as well. So I'm not really sure exactly what the difference is between the Daron distributed one and then the Premier Planes one. Other than the fact that this one is stickers, although it is now being fully painted, and the other one originally was fully painted. But anyway, and then there is the retro KLM 747 in the retro livery. This was one of the 1990s models as well, one of the late 90s models. And unfortunately, I do not have the newer livery of the KLM 747, but I do plan on getting that in the future, hopefully. So then there is the Swissair 747. Another relatively newer model to my collection. Then there is the Swiss A340, and I did forget to mention, I did realize that I said that the Scandinavian, the SAS Scandinavian A340, I said that was Swiss for some reason, but so this is the Swiss A340, and that is the SAS Scandinavian. So, and then there is the Caledonian 767, which another older Realtoy model from the 90s, another newer one in my collection as well. Then there is the Turkish 777, and the KTHY Cyprus Turkish Airlines 737 in the -400 mold. This is the newest model to my collection. I actually just unboxed a couple of days ago. So if you have not seen that video, you definitely should go check it out, because this is definitely one of the rarest planes in my collection. So, and then right behind it, another one of the rarest planes in my collection, which is the PIA 777. Really, really beautiful livery on this model as well. Then there is the Star Alliance 787, and then the 3 of the Virgin Atlantic 747s as well. And then for the fifth and last row of my second portion of my Realtoy collection, starting off are two completely blank A320 models, which these were originally TED A320s, but unfortunately the previous owner of these and the seller on eBay had completely stripped them of their stickers. So yeah, they were originally TED A320s, and it's really unfortunate that they no longer have their stickers. But they came with a bunch of other models, so of course I did not do this. But they still are Realtoy models, and I wanted to include them in this as well, since, yeah, they are still Realtoy models. So anyway, moving on, there is the Italian 787, which was a new release a couple years ago, and then the Cathay Pacific A350, which I had gotten last year. This one was one of the ones that you can buy from pretty much coming from China, so it is kind of difficult to get, but I think it's still available on one of the weird websites. So then there is the International 747, one of the original Realtoys as well, along with the Battleship Gray 747, I believe. This one was made in 1993 as well. So another one of the older models in great condition. Then there is the Realjet 787, which is another one of the rarest models in my collection. One of my favorites as well, because Definitely lots of really great detail on this model as well. I did the review video of this a couple months ago, so if you have not seen that, you should definitely go check it out, because the entire playset of this model is really cool, as well as the box. So, and then moving on, there is, to the last Realtoy model, is the Air France A380, which I got a couple months ago as well. This is the only Realtoy Air France model that I have as of right now. I do hopefully plan on getting the other models in the future as well, but I'm really glad that I have the one of the Air France A380s. So, and there are two versions of this. There's this one, and then there is an older version. So then there is Air France, the Welly version of this, which actually that is the same livery that the older version of the Air France A380 is. But this is the Welly one, the Welly version of the Air France A380. Then there is the, I believe this is one of the pre-1993 Realtoys, but I don't really consider it Realtoy since it doesn't have the Realtoy landing gear or the logo on the landing gear. But still is a really nice model, and I honestly really like it. It is the Paradise 747. This came in a very large 75-piece airport playset, which honestly I don't really use that. I don't really take that playset out hardly ever. So, which is why I kind of have the planes separate. But I did have to buy that entire 75-piece playset completely just for this plane. But it kind of was worth it, because it is a really, really cool model. It is fully painted too. Believe it or not, it actually is a fully painted model, and really nicely detailed. So, and then moving on is the Austin Powers 747 and the Welly model. Unfortunately, this is discontinued. This was one of the models I had gotten after seeing one of Aviation Ignited's videos a couple years ago. So, and it is a really nice model, a really nicely detailed Welly model as well, and I really like it. Unfortunately, it was discontinued, I think, about 2 years ago. But you can still find one on eBay. So, and then there is the Welly Japan JAL Japan Airlines 787 Welly model, and then the rest of these are all Wellys. So then there is the newer 747, or not 747, 777-9, or 777X, which is supposed to be coming out, I think, either next year or 2 years, or the newest 777, and then there is the same model of the Emirates 777-9 or the 777X, and then there is the Emirates 777-200 Welly model as well. And last but not least, I decided to save the best for last. I may have forgotten about it, but that's not important. The Thompson 787 in the new livery. I accidentally forgot to include this one with all of the previous models. So it's kind of getting its own separate little video clip. So definitely one of my favorites in my collection as well. It was kind of stored away with hiding amongst all of my other models, so I kind of overlooked it and forgot about it. But I did remember it last second, so definitely is another one of my favorite models in my collection, and a really nicely made model as well, and really nicely painted. That is pretty much all, or that is all of, so that is all of my entire collection, the entire second portion of my Realtoy models collection. So, these are kind of all of the, I guess, European models. You got some Australian or just Asian, any models from any continents, from airlines that are from any continent other than North and South America. So, it is a little bit smaller than the first portion, but together definitely is very, very large. So that is pretty much all for the collection update. So I really hope you enjoyed this video, and even though it did take me an entire day to get this video made and everything on all of my models all set up, I did really enjoy it, because some of these models I actually have not taken out in probably over a year. So, and it's really nice being able to see how much all my models actually together. So, yeah, it was a really great time being able to set all of these models up. And in a couple years, when I have a couple more, I will be doing another collection update. So, be sure to stay tuned for that and my future review videos and the new models that I will be getting in the future as well. I'm really looking forward to still adding to this collection, even though it definitely does seem like a lot. I know there probably are definitely Realtoy collectors out there that have even more than this, so, but just one of the joys of collecting these models as well. And considering that if you are a Gemini Jets collector, usually it's going to take a lot of money to be able to get this many Gemini Jets, so which is why another reason why I love collecting the Daron Realtoy models. So once again, thank you so much for watching, and remember to like and subscribe so that way you are able to see all future review and unboxing videos and any models that I will get in the future. And yeah, remember to like and remember to subscribe, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye.